Quindell, what is good, my man? How are you tonight?
I'm good. I appreciate y'all for having me on the show.
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming on the show. Before we get into your story, I got to know the go to song. When you're going to go out on the field, you're in the tunnel in that badass locker room y'all got. What's in the AirPods? What's on the beats? What we listening to?
And so really it's like I have a rapper. He's from the city where I'm from, and his name is Kenneth Brother, but his real name is Brian Anderson. So I actually like just listen to his songs, because he's one of my fan favorites, especially from the city. So I kind of listen to most of his songs, get hyped off his songs, and man, I just get ready to go. But when we in that locker room and I have that downtime, that's what I listen to for sure. But
Absolutely.
we have our music going on, but when I'm locked in, that's the person I listen to for sure.
Absolutely. As a kid from Memphis, we all obviously we got our own. We support the local rappers ourselves, so we appreciate that you rep somebody from your city. I got to ask you, Quindell, one more question. Are you a sports movie guy?
For the most part, I'm really an action guy. I can do sports movie, but I'm really more of an action guy. I tell
I
you that much.
I got to put this one on you though, since it's a sports podcast. If you're gonna sit down and watch only one sports movie, what is it?
Ooh, that's hard.
Quindell, can I
Oh,
tell you a story real quick while you're thinking about it?
yeah.
We did this sports and I picked love and basketball, and these fools like mock me for it, man. I need you to help me out,
That was like your first round draft pick in a mock
Bruh,
draft.
it was okay. It was like
It
second
wasn't,
round.
but but it was too early. You took it off the board too early.
So
Well,
I
listen,
really, it's crazy. I really have like maybe three, my top three for sure.
Hit us with them.
I don't have an order, but I have Hurricane Season for sure. Um, the Waterboy and Coach Carter. Yeah,
So you're filling that jersey off
solid.
over my
yeah,
shoulder.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, well, let's get into that then. For people who would wonder why Waterboy, tell us where you're from.
From New Orleans, Louisiana.
All right, and so one of the first things, man, studying you up, looking at things, you know, your twin brother always comes up. If you Google and research you, that's what comes up. And so, growing up, I gotta know in that household, man, you got a athletic twin brother. Were y'all best friends or was everything a competition?
We was best friends for sure, man. Like we did everything together: football, basketball, baseball. We didn't do all the sports, but every sport we done that did it together. So we was also competitive too. We had our competitive days, and I think that's why like we so competitive. Like I'm so competitive when I play because when we was younger, we was going at it. We brothers, so I want to win. He want to win. So if I feel like he cheating, I'm gonna say something. He feel like I'm cheating, he gonna say something. And we had our days where we brothers, so we had little fights here and there. Dad had to break it up. Well, he didn't really break it up as much because we boys, so he wanted us to fight. But Mama, she didn't play it. But we was competitive for sure. I tell you that much, especially going against each other. We was competitive growing up, and that did mold us to be competitive on the court field, whatever we was playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Iron sharpens iron, no doubt. And so with that though, man, both y'all being athletes, whether it was your parents or, other family members, do you got some athletes in your family that, obviously passed down those genes to y'all?
Uh, it's crazy because a lot of my family members don't play sports. I have a lot of female uh cousins and uncles. Well, not I have a lot of female cousins and everything like that. But my grandpa, he passed way before I was born, and my mom always tell me I got my height from him. So I don't know if he played sports when he was younger, but she definitely tell me I got the height from him because I'm the tallest in our family, and for the most part, me and my brother, uh, we the ones that do it all in the family.
Yeah, it's a rare thing, Quindell. Man, we have guys and girls come on here and their brother, their sister, their uncle, their dad, their grandfather played in the NFL, NBA, and it's like, man, y'all share some of them genetics. Like my parents didn't pass me down nothing. So it's you know, it's kind of cool, even though it is cool when you have an athletic family, but to know that, you know, y'all grinded and worked and it wasn't just, you know, gifted to you, so to speak.
Right.
So you know, being that you are from New Orleans, I gotta know, you see the jersey behind me. You a Saints fan?
Yeah, I'm a Saints fan, but my favorite team is so you gotta bet me, don't judge me. My favorite team is I'm a Commanders fan. We was the Redskins in the football team, now we the Commanders. So yeah, look,
DB's logging back off.
Yeah. So look, don't judge me, but I am a Saints fan, so I always root for the home team.
All right. Well, the reason I asked that is I was just curious, man. Who was your favorite player, man? You know, coming up, you always have athletes that you pay attention to. You want to emulate. You know, who from the Saints squad, you know, at any point growing up was your guy?
You know, it's crazy. I'll be honest. I didn't have a favorite player on the Saints team. My favorite player was actually Michael Vick growing up, and that's who my game after growing up. Like I wanted his number. I wanted to play the same position as him. So growing up, like I really didn't have a favorite player on the Saints, and Michael Vick was my inspiration growing up. So that's like, it's not crazy, but you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. Can't go wrong with Michael Vick. We're so old that Michael Vick, man, we were using him on Virginia Tech playing NCAA football back in the day. That's when Michael Vick was our dude. You was cheating if you picked Virginia Tech to play the game because you couldn't stop Michael Vick. It was impossible.
Big facts.
So at what age did you jump into football? You talked about playing all those different sports, but when did football start? Was it real early?
Yeah, it was early. My dad actually got us going early at 4 years old. They really didn't have an age group for our age, so we kind of had to play with the 5-6 year olds for a couple years, and after that, it just went up from there. So we started early. He got us in there early, started early, got us going, getting our feet in there, and it helped for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, you grow up in Louisiana, which is just so talent rich. It's no different than I've seen a graphic. And, you know, as a DB, you know, they were talking about Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb. And I had pointed out to everybody that all four of those guys are from Louisiana. If you just look at the amount of players that come up, and no matter what college they go to, but they come from the state of Louisiana, I mean, it is just a talent rich area, man. And so with that, I got to ask, like, because you know Randy's going to get into high school with you, but at the youth league age, like, is it already highly competitive like that? Is it already just athletes everywhere?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like me growing up, I played with a lot of athletes, man. And down in New Orleans, it get real competitive, and you got to play the best of the best. And growing up, I did that. I played the best of the best in almost every league, and maybe I say 10, 11. It's either 10, 11, 11, 12. My dad actually, we had a team, and we went to Baton Rouge instead of playing in New Orleans. We actually went to Baton Rouge, and we played in the Baton Rouge League for a couple years, and we won it our second year, but our first year, you know, we was kind of good. We went like 6-6. I played Dylan Moses for the first time, and I would tell you one thing, that kid was huge at his age. Like he ran that ball all over us. He slung me a little bit, so I still remember that. But
I don't believe it.
Shucks. They actually had a YouTube video. I don't think they have it on there no more, but you'll see. Look,
you made them take it down.
Huh?
You made them take it down.
Nah.
Hey, I'm glad they weren't filming things back when we were playing, Randy. There'd be so many bad highlights of me, man. I'd be exposed.
I wouldn't ever be on them because I was on the sideline. But you know, you can hear it in your accent, and you said you're from New Orleans, right? You talked about Baton Rouge, but tell everybody that doesn't know, what high school did you go to?
I went to the Great Edna Carr High School.
The Great Edna. A lot of talent coming out of Edna Carr, and a lot of success, especially while you were there. 3-year varsity performer for head coach Bryce Brown, helped lead the Cougars to back-to-back Louisiana High School Athletic Association Class 4A state championships. The two title teams combined to go 29-1 in
Yes, sir.
2016, 14-0 record. 2017 went 15-1. Also went to the 2015 state championship and came up a little short. So let me ask you something. What do you think about more, the 2 chips or the one you lost?
The one I lost because it's a backstory. So I started playing. That was my sophomore year, and I started playing like more and more as the season went on. But I really ain't playing in a state championship game, and
that's why y'all lost.
I was hurt a little bit because I played a little bit, but I didn't play as much as I thought I was. So I was hurt in the inside. So that next year, I had to really focus and make a statement.
And I got to ask you, so obviously you talked about you making a statement. How hungry did it make you guys as a team to get that bitter taste out of your mouth? And could you guys feel a run coming the next 2 years? I'm not saying you saw the success you had because that's kind of unprecedented, but could you kind of feel it about to turn?
Oh, for sure. Going into our little springtime, high school is a little different. So the workout times and everything, how we work out is way different. So going into like the springtime, we started working out. You can sense that energy that we trying to chase a championship, and you felt that through the whole locker room, and I felt like everybody was locked in. Everybody was focused on that one goal because it's hard to win state championships in New Orleans. It's hard because you have all that talent. So we had to separate ourselves every year. Every year is a new goal, and we had to separate ourselves. And that was one of the hardest things to do, like just to stay focused, not be complacent. Being complacent was not being complacent was one of our biggest things, like to focus on, because complacency, that can kill a whole deal. So that was our whole thing. Just keep going, keep grinding, and not be complacent. And that whole thing shifted from my junior year, and then it also shifted even more my senior year, because my senior year, I know I want to go out with a bang. So I had guys with me in my class that we always leading, and we all helped each other out. We got the team right and everything, and the team chemistry was just that those last 2 years, and I thought it was good for us, and the process that we was making, and what Coach Bryce had for us, and how he challenged us. Because if he ain't challenged us the way he did, I don't think we win those 2 state championships back to back.
No, absolutely. So, you mentioned it. You do win the 2 back-to-back junior and senior year titles. Which one of those is your favorite? You like one over the other?
I actually love my junior year one better than my senior one.
Because y'all didn't lose a game.
That, and it was just we had a great team. Like the team was different, and I don't know, we were just different my junior year, and I just love that. I just love that season that we had, man. Just from start to finish, like that was a season to remember. And
and coming off the lost season, it had to feel better. Losing in the championship,
right? So that grind from the summertime till the end of December, it was a great feeling. And then it was my first championship as well, so that felt even better.
No, absolutely. So you talked about which one you like better, but which one did you feel like you performed the best on the field, junior or senior year?
I played well both. I played well both games too, so it was real hard. I contributed a lot. My junior year, I would say my junior year won, because the team that we played and the safety role was real big in that game, and I just played my part and did my job. And I had 8 tackles, tackle for loss, something like that. So I played my butt off my junior year. So I think I would say my junior one, because of the role I had to play in the team we played as well. That team we played 2017, Neville, that was a hard team, and never always had great players come from that school, and there was always a good powerhouse in the foyer. So just going against them, going against that talent, it was good, and I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. So speaking of talent, I read that you was played a little hoops down there at Nicar too, man. You a hooper?
I hoop,
You
for sure.
okay? Now you in a city that hoops too, man. You still hoop now?
So I hoop here and there. I come out of retirement here and there. I kind of played a little bit in the springtime. Went to the rec. Everybody after we work out and everything. Go in there, get a little extra, little conditioning in or whatnot. But
You be in there bodying up the basketball team?
shit, they don't need be in there. I don't think say that. I don't think he want them in there. So
They better not be in there.
they don't be in there.
Better not.
If they are in there, they probably just watching or whatnot. But you usually don't see them in there. But for me, man, football and basketball ended up being my two favorite sports, man. I love football and I love basketball. Like I can't get away from basketball. If I see a basketball, I probably go on shoes. So me just going to the rec and playing, like that's another happy space for me because it's something I love to do. Even if I'm a little rusty, I still got a little game with me. So I still love to play. I'm passionate about it, even though it's pickup. Like I'm playing hard defense. Like I'm a real defensive player, so I play hard defense. I'm still talking, doing everything I would do if I was in a real game. So that love that I still have for basketball, man, is unconditionally. So once I get a chance, like if I ever, get a chance on my free time, I, play a little pickup game or whatnot. I watch how I play and everything because I ain't trying to hurt myself. But if I do get a chance to play, I'll play a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I like hooping too. I don't want to play against like real athletes though, Quindell. So I ain't coming down to the rec. But let me ask you, at what point at high school did colleges start approaching you about coming to their school?
So a little bit after my sophomore year, so my first actual football offer was from Jackson State. And Jackson State was a little bit different because I don't think they really give athletic scholarships. I know it's mostly academic. So that was kind of my first offer. And then once that one came, then Nichols came, and then ULL came, and then schools, by my junior year, schools started approaching me. Like going into my junior year, I went to a couple camps. I wasn't really a camp guy, but going into my junior year, and once I started playing, that's when I started getting more and more offers, and they started coming, and that's when I started my recruiting process.
No, absolutely. So so you talked about some of the offers that came to you, but when you really start thinking about where you're going to go, what were your other top options other than Memphis?
So I didn't really have that many options. It was either Memphis, Tulane, or Houston because I ain't really get too many big offers. Mississippi State wanted to offer me, but they told me they wanted me to go to their camp for them to offer me, and I really didn't care for it. So I told my dad, like, nah, I'm not even gonna worry about it because I really wasn't a big camp guy, so I wouldn't even worry about it. But either Houston, Tulane, or Memphis, was kind of my go-tos at that moment. I had a couple of HBCUs. I was kind of on the edge of going to HBCU because I never, I don't mind going to one. And plus the school I went to as well, I enjoyed. But just throughout that process, I had Coach Yak. He was here at Memphis at the time. He was a New Orleans guy as well. So it was like, okay, I have someone from New Orleans that that's up there that take care of me. We could relate. So that's when I started drifting more, keeping contacting with them. Also with the head coach, Coach Novell at the time, and also Coach Ball. So we kind of had a relationship. And once that time came, started more and more leaning towards Memphis. Then I was like, Tulane was on me hard as well. So it was hard for me to tell him I don't want to go to Tulane anymore. Like I made my decision or whatnot. But I had to make that. I had to tell him that, break the news to the recruiting coach that was recruiting me. And then I made my decision from that, and I wanted to come to Memphis.
Absolutely. Let me ask you. You talked about Jackson State. Was Primetime down there when they were trying to get you to come there?
No.
Oh man, Quindell. I'm not gonna ask you then. I'm not gonna ask if you would have went there if Prime was there. Then I won't say that.
I don't. You know, it's crazy. I don't know. I know a lot of people would say they'd probably go to prime time. I don't know.
You are a defensive back after all. I mean,
right.
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, who didn't want to be Prime? But
you're right.
Absolutely. I got to ask you one more question before I turn you over to DB and he starts talking about the Memphis thing. So obviously I've been to New Orleans a million times. Jim's been to New Orleans a bunch of times. You say it because we say it weirder. We don't say it cool like you do. But what's the biggest difference between Memphis and New Orleans? And I'm not just talking about food. I mean culture. There are some similarities in my opinion, but what's the biggest difference in your mind?
It's, I would say like the environment. You know, New Orleans is a little bigger than Memphis. You know, Memphis is like one big old circle. When you go to New Orleans, you know, you have one side, and then you have another side of New Orleans. So that's probably, you know, the biggest difference from me. You know, obviously the food is different. Obviously the culture is different. But just the environment for sure. I feel like the biggest difference.
No, absolutely. So you talked about why Memphis and you had those connections, but what was it like committing to Memphis with your twin brother?
It was amazing, man. Because I didn't think we was going to be together after high school. You know, I was prepared for us to go our separate ways after high school, but you know, once they allowed him to come with me, it was amazing. You know, another opportunity to be with my brother again for the next 4 years. Continue to be around each other, have fun while we at it before, you know, we actually split and have our own lives. But it was amazing. It was a blessing too, for not just only me, but for my parents, so they don't have to keep going and traveling, you know, to different schools just to see us. They just come to one school, not that far from the house. So it was good.
So Quindell, you decide to pack it up. You head to Memphis. Is there any nervousness, or is it all eagerness and excitement to get there and actually get going?
So I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. Coming to a new city, probably gonna meet a lot of new people. But then again, I still had my brother, so it wasn't like I was alone. Just coming here, you know, I really, like I said, I didn't know what to expect. So I was nervous, but I was also excited as well because this is a new chapter of my life, another chance to play football, to showcase my talent, and all things like that. So man, it was nervous, but I was also excited, and I didn't really have too much worries because I had my brother with me.
So that first year, you get redshirted. At what point in the first year do you find out that you're going to redshirt? Was it early on, or was it something known like, hey, you know, there's not many true freshmen at this position that are gonna be eligible to play? Or was it something that, you know, you got hurt, or just down the line, coach and staff got you together and you decided that you wanted to sit out one and
I kind of knew early on because when I came in, I wasn't really big. Came in at 176. Throughout the summer, I probably gained about 6-7 pounds after the summer ended. So, and then the guys that we had, they were bigger than me. So I was like, shucks. I mean, but my body wise, I wasn't ready yet. So I knew early on that I was gonna redshirt, and I accepted that. Like, okay, there's nothing wrong with redshirting. At first, when I found out that I was redshirting, I wasn't too mad. Like, I understood why I was getting redshirted. So I took that, and throughout practice throughout the year, my freshman year, I actually like took advantage of being on scout team. I took advantage of being on scout team, and I accepted that role of being on scout team. And I knew that I was going against the ones. I was going against Tony Powell. I was going against Patrick Taylor, Darrell Henderson, people
Name
like
drops everywhere.
come
There
on
you
now.
go.
So
Those guys are okay.
I'm going against them. So I'm like, I might as well just get, perfect my craft, get better while I'm giving them a look.
You know,
And
I was gonna ask, like, what was the takeaway? Because the casual fan can look at a red shirt and go, "Oh, that's a bad thing," but obviously you're looking at it from the perspective of a player, and that lens is way different. And obviously, the takeaway there is you're getting to play against pro prospects every single day.
right.
And you're going against the ones, you're going against the looks, you're going against the best sets, you're going against all the best, man. And it looks like, with all that being said, you were able to bounce back the next year in really what is your freshman season. You appear in 14 games, 58 tackles, 3.5 for loss, 2 interceptions, and you come out the opener, you knock off Ole Miss on a nationally televised game. You had a tackle for a loss in that game. What is that experience like, knowing that you redshirted the year before, you put in all this hard work, and boom, game 1, you're starting to see the fruits of that labor? What does that mean?
And it was a blessing, that hard work that I put in throughout the offseason, get my, my body ready. Then also we had a new DC come in, so that also gave me another opportunity to showcase my talent throughout that spring and throughout the fall. So that gave me an opportunity to give myself chances to play, and it all just came together, and I just kept believing, because I really was splitting reps, but I also knew that if I kept coming and that I kept working, then it'll all work out. And playing that first game, man, it was amazing. I was nervous, but I played on a lot of special teams as well. So playing on special teams, it wasn't too much that I could handle. So once I actually got in the game, I was okay. Like, I wasn't nervous, because I played on a lot of special teams, got a feel for the game already. So once I got in the game, I was okay. But at the end of the day, it was amazing just to play in front of all those people. My parents get to see me play against a great team at the time, and I was proud, but I knew the job wasn't done.
Let me ask you this. When you guys go and you win that game, did you think, or did anybody think, or was it coach speak that you're going to take one game at a time? But did anybody know, like, this was going to be the best team that Memphis football had ever had?
I don't know. Nobody knew but us. Nobody knew but us, because what we did before the season, what we did in the wintertime, how we was all bought in, what we did in the fall. Like, I mean, it wasn't perfect, but the people that we had, the leads that we had on the team at that time, nobody knew but us. And no matter what the outcome was, we knew that we were going to be the best. And it just unfolded throughout the season, and everybody seen it as, weeks went on. But we knew we was going to be good, because, we had that bad taste in our mouth the year before, losing the conference championship. So, like, again, like I said, my sophomore year, we lost in the state championship. We came back that next year in the wintertime, December, grinding. We grinded.
So that was just old hat for you. You knew what to do at the end of that first year to prepare yourself for what was, a magical 2019 season. I mean, obviously, you start with Ole Miss, you get a feel, you realize, oh man, that hard work and that me busting my ass every day is paying off. You carry on through the season. You guys take care of business, and then you get to Tulsa. You got 12 tackles, a blocked field goal. Like, did you wake up, eat your Wheaties? Were you pissed off at someone? Did you know that game day was a possibility? So like you're playing for that. Like, what happened at Tulsa?
I was just playing. Like I was just playing. Like I was being me. I was flying around being me, being who I was, taking advantage of the opportunity, like I said, man. And the results will show for itself that, I can make plays, that I can be around the ball, do these things. So I forgot that I actually had 12 tackles that game. Like I was just doing my job, flying around, being around the ball. And that's just how I am. And I can't, I can't do nothing about it. It's just who I am. It's in my DNA. Like I got to be around the ball. I just have to do my job. So, I mean, I'm young. I'm 19 at the time. Like I'm not that old. So just having that mindset at a young age and to help that team, help the team be in the position that it was in and be able to help the team out throughout the year. It was a real blessing for real.
Well, I mean, it was a blessing, and you guys blessed the entire city with probably, I mean, as far as I can count, maybe one or two other things that stack up as high as game day in Memphis. The Beale Street, just the city was on fire. It was electric, man. Like you guys get SMU, on the biggest stage that you've ever been on. What was that like trying to balance the emotion and like enjoying the moment, but also knowing like we got to take care of business?
Yeah. I mean, around that time, I'm not sure how I felt. I'm not gonna. I was probably a little nervous because I knew it was gonna be packed. I found out it was a sold out game, so I kind of got maybe a little nervous because I ain't never see a full stadium before. So I was a little nervous, but once I got to the game, I was straight. Like I was zoned in. I was good. And then, like at the time when I'm on the field, it didn't feel like it was a packed stadium. I'm looking around; it did not feel like it was packed. But if you look at every picture from game day, the stadium is sold out. You can see there probably ain't no seats up in the stadium. But on the field,
I wasn't personally there, but on TV, it looked amazing. It was awesome.
it was like in person, it really did not feel like it was sold out. So, but I was zoned in so much, man. It was crazy. I really wasn't worrying about too much, but I knew my people was watching me. So, that makes me go even harder because I know, they watching me. I want to make them proud. So just playing that game, man, it was a great experience, man. Like just playing that game and the team that SMU had that year, they were good too. So just going against them, it was good, man.
I mean, obviously, you guys took care of business. Great game. Like you said, two really competitive teams, down to the wire. But what I would say, you capped off the season with having to beat Cincinnati twice. Now, for most people, you look at both of those games and go, all right, you took care of business 2 games in a row, but how difficult is it to beat a Cincinnati team not once, but twice back to back?
It's very difficult. It was very hard. And the team that they had that year too they was stacked too. So it was like, okay, we beat them the first time, but we know they coming the second time. And then they gotta come back here. So just I mean, it's very hard to beat a team twice. Very, very hard to beat a team twice. But I just thought that throughout that whole time, like we was focused. We was focused. We all had that mindset of them coming back in here trying to, take the championship from us. And at the same time, we knew that we lost the year prior. So we not trying to lose again, especially in our own house. So that was, we kind of had that on our mind that we wasn't gonna lose this game. Like we wasn't gonna let them come in our house and beat us.
Well,
For
you took care of business. Obviously, the second time around, you're playing them for a conference championship, a New Year's Six bowl. You end up getting both of those. You end up drawing, in the Cotton Bowl, you get Penn State, a really good Penn State team. What is it like knowing that you're going to go against Penn State, but it's in the Cotton Bowl? It's on a big stage. It's the biggest bowl game that Memphis has been a part of. What is all that emotion like? And, talk me through the day from, balancing yourself, getting ready to play all the way to the fact that, you guys end up, coming up short.
So just knowing that we was playing them, we was ready. We was ready before, Coach Novell and them decided to leave and, bring our DC with them at the time. But I feel like
did that make a difference?
It did. It really did make a difference from, us actually, because I feel like if we had Coach Novell and our DC, Coach Fuller, we would have won that game. Because I mean they were good, but we were just as good as two. So I felt like the matchup was even. Like we had the game within 2 or 3 at some point, but I felt like that did make a huge difference going into the game, and we knew that we had to adjust to what the other coaches had going and adjust to their plan for us. So we just wanted to go out there and play hard. I felt like because we knew what kind of game it was. We knew that we didn't have all our staff at the time. Some people left, but we just wanted to play. We just wanted to play hard, and we just didn't want to get blown out the water by a Penn State team. So I just felt like leading into that game, we knew what the challenge was, but we wasn't going to back down either.
So just from a fan's perspective and a fan that's been a fan my entire life, I was at that game, and there was never a time where from before kickoff to during the game, the fourth quarter, where I didn't feel like we had a chance to win or we were outmatched. There was never a time. And it was an unbelievable experience. And as a fan and as a kid growing up, man, thank you for that. Like you guys played your ass off that entire year. And that's something special. Something that I can share with my daughter, that all of us can share with our families. And, maybe it doesn't happen again, but, I think it will at some point. But obviously you guys move on past that, your sophomore season. Obviously you mentioned there's a coaching change. Coach Silverfield takes over. You have 81 tackles, you have 61 solo to go, 2 for loss, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 3 picks, 5 pass breakups, 1 block kick. Man, you led the AAC with 60 solo stops. You were 22nd in the nation. That season you had a lot going on with within the team, with cancellations, COVID, the whole 9. You had a 50-49 win over UCF that kind of gets thrown in the mix. You kind of gets washed out with all the things that goes on. But given our success rate against UCF, that was a big game for us to win.
For sure.
You had a season high 14 tackles. I mean, 10 of which were solo in that win. What is of that season? I know it's probably a blur at this point, and it was probably long and arduous, but what was your best moment, best game of that season?
Navy game for sure. Off reps is Navy game.
Man, that was a gutty game, man. It was.
It's crazy. It was, and to say it was 10-7, that it was a fun game, man. It was fun to be out there, even though we didn't it wasn't a crowd, but just to be with the team and just compete with those guys, just be out there, just having that kind of game that we know was gonna have, like, it was fun. And the way that we executed and flew around, it was amazing to watch.
Speaking like a true defensive player, 10-7 was fun.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that was a game that helped propelled you guys. You were 8-3 with all that went on that season. Do you felt like you met expectations for all the things that were going on at 8-3 season?
A little bit. We didn't meet the goal of going to the championship, but I felt like we did. We was on the right path to get into where we want to be at that time. I would say for sure.
Well, I mean, you obviously did big things because the next season, your junior season, you're on Benaric, Thorpe. You were one of 6 Tigers to start all 12 games. Your junior year, you totaled 104 tackles, 66 solo, 4.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, 11 pass breakups, 1 quarterback hurry, 1 fumble recovery. You were ranked 12th in the NCAA in solo tackles, 27th in total tackles. You had at least 3 games with 10 tackles, man. Like you are like the benchmark of like progressively getting better every year. And my hat's off to you because given where you guys were and all the shit that you had to endure with COVID in that season, you were still able to have this unbelievable junior year to put yourself in the tops of defensive players in the entire country, man. That's something big. Yeah, man. You have Hennigan come in. You guys go 6-6. Obviously, we're realists on this show. That's not acceptable. I mean, you just told me 8-3 wasn't it. So we definitely know 6-3 is not it either. So of that season, what was your defining moment of that season, but also what was the one point where you were like, man, like I got to fix this?
So we went 3-0. We went 3-0, started 3-0. And I think once we lost to UTSA, it was because once we lost to UTSA, then the home streak then went away. Everybody forgot about that. We had the home streak going, so that kind of messed us up a little bit too. But then we go 3-3, so it's like we don't want to panic, but like we need to get it fixed because we're just 3-0. Could easily be 6-0, but now we 3-3. So I mean, just going through that season, like it was tough. I ain't gonna lie, it was tough just trying to get everybody back on board. Just to keep everybody focused, because it was still a chance that we could still do the thing that we needed to do, even though we lost 3 in a row. So I felt like it was hard for us to get back to where we need to go. Like the head spaces, like I felt like we was kind of all over the place.
It seems like it would be easy for someone to go, you know what, man, there's a lot of tribulations. Like I don't have to do this again. Mm-hmm. But you chose to come back another year. Obviously, you're back, this year. Like, what was it that, made you go, I'm coming back? Was it one particular thing or just the fact that historically you're a guy that from a season of one disappointment, even at the championship level, you're gonna come back and overcome that, or you have a hunger that fuels you that next year? Is that what it is? Or
yeah, like I know what it takes to win, and I know what it's gonna take for us to get back to where we need to be. And I want to come back, with the veteran leadership that I have, and win a championship. That was my mindset. Win a championship, give these guys, get our heads back in a space. It's a new season, so we start off fresh and just get everybody with the right mindset and have the same goal of trying to win another championship. And that's one of the reasons why I came back. Is to win
one of the things I read, in an article, it said that, your parents taught you to finish where you start, or
Yeah.
where you start. And so, you said that was one of the big reasons. So I really commend you for that, man. You're going to finish what you started.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Loyalty is a big thing, man. I could easily went to another school after last year. I could have easily transferred and went to another school, but I didn't see the reason why when I'm in a place where I know I can still go where I want to go in my life. Like, I'm in a position to put myself in the right place. I don't have to go to a big school to be noticed. Like, I'm in the right place where I need to be, and I'm taking advantage of those opportunities where I need to be. So I just felt like I didn't need to go anywhere.
I appreciate you coming back. I hope you know that, because I wouldn't have got to hear this.
Yards and 88 yards. Now they're ready to start their third from their own 25-yard line. And that pass is picked off. Will Rogers throws an interception. And there's the guy you talked about, Quindell Johnson. A bit quicker than he wanted. I think Quindell Johnson made him pay.
Man, that's sweet. We had Will Rogers on here too, and I told him it wasn't going to be easy for him. So thank you for not making me a liar.
It wasn't gonna be easy. I made them pay for sure. They don't always throw us the ball, but when they make that mistake,
there to capitalize.
There it is.
So diving in, obviously, to this year, before we talk about dive into the season, I just want to name some preseason watch list, Quindell. And if I mispronounce some of these names, y'all just gonna have to forgive me. The Chuck Bednarik Award preseason watch list. Is this Ress's Senior Bowl watch list? Bronco Nagurski Trophy watch list. Paycom Jim Thorpe Award preseason watch list. Werfel Trophy watch list. First team preseason all AAC. So let me ask you, do all these lists add pressure, or do they build confidence that people know what you're capable of doing?
To be honest, none, because at the end of the day, individual rewards come with team success. And I'm real big on that. If we're not successful as a team, then probably ain't gonna get those individual awards. So, I mean, I'm just gonna go out there and do what I do, lead the team the way I need to lead them, and we have this successful season, and everything gonna play out. That's just how I am. Like, all the watch list is good. I'm grateful. I'm blessed to have them, but at the end of the day, them individual awards gonna have to come off team success.
No, absolutely. So obviously, we're going down to Starkville. They're looking for revenge from you guys putting on them last year in your house. I'm going to ask you two questions though before we even jump into that. First of all, you're not playing down there anymore. You're not going to play there again, Quindell. So tell me this: how annoying are those cowbells?
It was crazy. I didn't think it was gonna be bad as it was. Well, I could be wrong, because before the delay, it was a little loud. Before the delay, it was a little loud. But after, it wasn't that bad as they said it was. Maybe because I'm on defense.
How smart are these people be holding up metal cowbells when it's lightning, though, man? I just don't know, man. That's how they do it down in Starkville. But let me ask you about, so have you ever been a part of such a long lightning delay in your college career?
No, sir. This was my first lightning delay ever in my career.
So, I mean, you're 10 minutes into the game, and then you got an over 2-hour lightning delay. How are you guys staying warm, and what are y'all doing? Just hanging out?
Nah, we was in there trying to make adjustments, stretching a little bit, talking everything out. I wasn't really trying to sit down for that long, so I'm walking around, eating a little snacks, stretching. Then we come back and make another adjustment. So we were just talking, making adjustments, just sitting down, cooling a little bit, just not trying to be cold, trying to get cold. So we was just walking around a little bit, and then we go out to stretch, and then I come right back in. So it's like, we just trying to play. So, I mean, that was my first time being involved in a line of delay and stuff. So, I mean, it had to adjust to that.
Quindell, one of my favorite things was because Randy was texting me, it starts raining, everybody starts fleeing. Everybody liked to make fun of my Memphis shorts I was wearing. I was wearing my Memphis swim trunks, had them Bahama jokers on. Anyway, I said everybody was uncomfortable with me. I was just sitting on the bleachers, good to go. Bring on the rain.
Yeah, so they're a sight to see, Quindell. You got to check them out. But so the game restarts eventually. It doesn't go you guys' way. I mean, obviously, Will Rogers, DB mentioned it. He was a guest on the show, and we know how talented he is. But you mentioned the mistake that he made, and that's throwing your direction. He shouldn't have done that. Tough game, but you had an interception, a fumble recovery, and 9 tackles. So, I mean, the takeaway, obviously, you don't want to lose, and you're a team guy, team first. But I think the takeaway, at least for us watching it, was just to see your talent on display. And there were some things you can take out of it as positive, right? It's not all negative down there. You just got away.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys going down there, I mean, obviously you're disappointed in the performance, but I mean, what's the mood like after you guys? You feel like without the 2-hour lightning delay, you guys could have stayed there, made some plays. That really kind of dead the momentum.
Yeah. I mean, we just had to adjust. I mean, you couldn't control everything, man. Can't control that weather. So we just had to adjust for the light delay, and kind of glad because it kind of started their momentum a little bit, but it still ain't go our way. But I just felt like, that's the first game, and that was a great team. That's a good team. They do what they do. They do what they do. So
they throw it.
One of the things they talked about on the radio, local sports radio, was the difference between this year and last year was y'all were able to play a couple games before you played a high caliber team like Mississippi State. Did you feel like, not making excuses, but it'd been better to get somebody else under your belt before having to play such a, play an SEC team in their house?
Nope. Nope. I just go in there. So even though it's the first game, we need to do. But
I like that.
I don't mind. We coming out of the first game, have blazing with Mississippi State. All right, that's cool. Let's go. Let's do it. I mean, but it ain't go the way we did. But I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind playing a high caliber team in the first game. I mean, mistakes gonna happen and everything. That's it is
what it is
of football and playing in the first game. But I mean, yeah, I still play in the first game. I don't mind.
No, absolutely. So from a preparation standpoint, obviously you mentioned last year Navy being, your favorite game. You got those guys coming up again. It's a completely different preparation. You go from playing an air raid offense to playing Navy. So how different is it preparing for you guys, especially you going an air raid offense to a running game like Navy has?
Yeah, you just gotta get your mind wrapped around who you're playing. Just gotta buy into the game plan, and we know who we playing. We know this is gonna be a real street fight, a real boxing match, or however you want to call it, because we're gonna be in the trenches for real. So just being ready, because we usually play them later in the year, but we got them early in the year. So just gotta be ready, be prepared, and just stay with the game plan of what we got going.
Absolutely. So what I expect to see, big bounce back game from you guys, another road game. You're starting out two games on the road before you come back to our house for 4 straight games. How much are you guys looking forward to get back into Liberty Bowl?
I think we ready, especially with the new turf. We want to see how
brand new. I was on it today, Quindell.
We ready to see, man. We ready for a new season and a bowl, just to see everybody come out, watch us play, and get these wins, man. So it's gonna be fun playing back in the bowl after 2 road games.
It looks good, man. They got it all pressure washed up, that new turf down, new paint. We ready, man. I'm gonna be down there on the field with you. I'll come down there and see you. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
All right, so enough of the football talk. We're gonna play a little game that we play with every guest. You down to play a game of this or that, Quindell?
This all right. Come on, let's do
All
it.
right, all right. So the only rules is you can't say neither and you can't say both. You have to pick one decisively. So with that, I'm gonna put you on the spot because I told you my family's from Louisiana. I'm gonna be down there in 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, watching LSU, Mississippi State, Saints, Bucks. So I'm gonna be down there. I love the food, but I'm from Memphis. I love the food here. So I ask you, better food in New Orleans, better food in Memphis.
Still go to New Orleans.
All right, with that, what's your favorite dish, man? What's your go-to?
Whatever my mom cooking, I take it out.
That's the right answer. Randy always says when you give the mom the shout out, you're good to go.
Whatever my mom cooking.
All right. This question was on here before you said what you said earlier, so I probably got the answer to it because you talked about action movies, but action movie or comedy?
Action.
Yeah, figured that. All right. Ed Reed or Brian Dawkins?
I'll go with Ed Reed. I'm gonna go Ed Reed.
I mean,
GOAT.
yeah, he is the GOAT, but man, the way Brian Dawkins like the hits, I'm a fan. So I don't know. I was gonna see where he might went with that. He might like the heavy hitter. All right. Would you rather play Madden or 2K?
2K.
Who's your team? Who are you using? You better say the Grizzlies or Randy.
Bet not say the Pelicans.
Nah. I usually play. I'm a Clippers fan, so I play with the Clippers sometimes.
Washington.
He said he's a Clippers fan. Oof, that's hard, man. We got Grizzlies fans hosting this show. But if you could go to any concert, or no, first, if you could go to a concert or a sporting event, any of them, would you go to a concert or a sporting event?
Sporting event.
All right. What's the sporting event? What's the bucket list? You can go to any sporting event there is. What is it?
I had to name one.
Yeah.
I'm going to March Madness.
Oh, hey, we got a new one. All right. So NBA Finals is always the top answer. We've gotten Super Bowl, we've gotten the World Series. We have not gotten March Madness. That's what's up. Hey, that's a good one, too. All right. So let me ask you this. You know, you're a defensive guy. You know, you like being liked by the people, but you also like being the guy that, you know, maybe people aren't the most favorite of. Would you rather be the hero or the villain?
This gonna take me a while. Hold on. Do I want to be a hero or do I want to be a villain?
If you take too long, Randy will try to talk you into being Batman.
Can't go wrong with Batman.
Because I don't need people to like me though. That's the crazy part.
Me either.
I don't need people to like me, but you're gonna respect me. I want to be the villain.
All right. So being that you're an action movie guy, man, you got a favorite villain from any of those movies? Who's your go-to villain?
Let's see. I'm trying to figure this out right now. I don't have no train of thought of who my favorite villain is. Well, I do like man. I don't have no train of thought who my favorite villain is.
It's all good. All right. You could have just said, you know, Joker. And that's the one. You know, that's why Randy's a bat. You can't go wrong when you go with the Batman hero or the villains. But this next question, this is the final question. It's actually something that's been retired. It got retired with season 5, but we've asked a lot of your former teammates, current teammates this question, and I was curious to see what you would say. So I'm gonna bring it back just for you. Would you rather do 10 years in a coma or 5 years in prison?
10 years in coma.
Daniel,
10
you know
years.
that answer, don't
I
you?
love it. That's the right answer. You get all these jokers on here going, I'll go to jail. I'll be fine.
Hey,
No, they won't.
T-Pick, T-Pick and Morris said they would take jail. I think Hennigan took the nap, but we knew
I'm going to take the 10-year coma because it's going to feel like I've been asleep for about 3 hours.
Yeah. I know what I can do good, and that's sleeping. So give me that, and I'll be just fine. But
I can't do no jail. I can't do no jail. But,
if you go to prison, man, you might get on the longest yard team, man. Be like the movie.
Quindell, my man, hey, we're gonna let you bounce. Anything you want to plug or promote before we let you roll?
Yeah. So I have a little clothing line. With my brand is linked in my bio and my Instagram. On my Instagram page, you can check it out. Buy some merch on my page, man. That's really about it.
All right, man. So here's what I'm gonna tell everybody to do. Go over to Instagram at Quindell15. You can check out what Quindell's up to. You can buy some clothes. You can get the threads. You can look right. You can get everything you need from that one Instagram page. Dude, I'm going there now. I'm gonna follow you, and I don't follow nobody.
And you know what else, Daniel? Speaking of, since we bringing up his Instagram, I gotta ask you, Quindell, man, you had like one of the dopest photo shoots I've ever seen from a football player. How you set that up?
They told me to be at a certain place, and we went.
You killed it. You killed it, man. I posted those photos up because they were on Instagram, but they weren't on Facebook, so I put them on the Tigers Facebook page. Folks loved them, man.
It was good. The pictures came out. The pictures came out good, man. Shout out to the team, man. That it came out the pictures. So it was great. But I would say the mosquitoes were terrible. Mosquitoes were terrible, but the pictures came out good.
Yeah, you look like a stud, man. Hey, if y'all want to see Memphis Tigers, you want to know what's going on the football team at Memphis Football. And Saturday, 3:30, CBS Sports Network. If you get a chance, check them out. I know everybody in Memphis is going to be tuned in. We're going to pick up a win this weekend. I'm confident we're going to get the first W of the season, Quindell. We're going to get this thing rolling, my man. If you need anything from us, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out along the way. Once the season's over, guess what we're going to do? We're going to bring you back, and we're going to talk about it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's Quindell Johnson, everybody. We're going to take a break. We're going to plug our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to do some headlines.